Ever get that feeling like you just want to learn more? Like figure out what makes some people just so magnetic, maybe even unlock a bit of that yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Oh, nice.
We've got this like fascinating collection of observations, almost like someone just like took notes on how to be cool and interesting.
I like it already.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've been poring over the ideas from this YouTube video. It's called 14 Ways to Become Cooler and More Interesting.
Catchy title.
It is, right. No, it's not like formal research or anything, but it's still a super thought-provoking look at what makes certain people just stand out.
What makes them, so engaging?
Exactly. And ultimately what makes them, well, interesting to be around.
The kind of people you want to be friends with.
Yes. So think of this deep dive as your fast track.
Okay.
We've boiled it all down to the practical stuff, the core ideas you can actually use, so you can boost your own, interestingness without feeling like you need a total personality makeover.
Right, because who has time for that?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Our goal today is to help you become more authentically you.
I like that.
Just a more engaged and captivating version.
Love it. So where do we even begin?
Well, I think a good place to start is like, what does it even mean to be interesting?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Right. And the source material actually lays out a pretty clear contrast.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Almost like two sides of the same coin.
So give me the uninteresting side first.
Okay, so picture this person, and the video isn't saying they're a bad person.
Right.
Just that they kind of have this certain way of interacting with the world. They're not really curious. They just stick to what they know, and they don't ask many questions.
Got it.
It's like they're mostly focused on their own little world.
Sounds a little limited.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Okay, so what's the flip side? What does the interesting person look like?
Well, the source calls them a data collector, which I think is such a cool way to put it. They're actively going out, trying new things, talking to all sorts of different people.
Driven by curiosity, right.
Exactly. It's like they have this genuine interest in other people and just like the world around them.
That thirst for knowledge and experience, that really comes through.
It does. And that curiosity becomes like the engine,
In what way?
Because when you're genuinely interested in others, you learn things. You pick up all these new experiences.
And then those become part of your own story.
Yes. And that, in turn, makes you more interesting.
I love that cycle. It just keeps building on itself.
It does. The source also points to passion, creativity, and being true to yourself.
Ah, the authenticity factor.
Yes. And the video suggests that folks who aren't as interesting often lack this. Maybe they're trying too hard to fit in.
Trying to be someone they're not.
Right. Which actually leads perfectly into our next point, having a passion.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So, the source stresses how crucial it is to have something you're truly, deeply into. Something you just know a lot about.
Something that lights you up.
Exactly. They say that when someone talks about something they genuinely care about, that's when they come alive.
And it makes them more attractive to others too, right?
Absolutely. It's like that passion is contagious.
It's true. I mean, think about the people you find most captivating. They often have that spark, that deep interest in something.
Totally. And it gives your personality depth, which is so important.
Definitely. The video even makes the point that everyone should have at least one area where they have, some level of expertise.
Like a specialty.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be like world-class expertise or anything,
Right.
But it's about having that one thing you can talk about with real enthusiasm and understanding.
It gives you something unique to bring to the table.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be something conventional. Like, remember you mentioned competitive cheese rolling earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Even something like that can be fascinating if you're truly passionate about it.
Okay, so passion is key. But what if you feel like your world is a bit, small?
Ah, yes. That brings us to the next point. Broadening your horizons.
Which I think is so important. The source recommends traveling more, which is amazing if you can swing it. But the main idea here is about becoming more cultured.
Expanding your worldview.
Exactly. And you can do that even if you're staying local.
Okay, give me some examples.
Think about trying new cuisines, connecting with people from different backgrounds, going to cultural festivals.
I love it.
Or even watching films or listening to music from different parts of the world.
It's about opening yourself up to new experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the video suggests that people who only stick to what they know can come across as, well, kind of limited.
It's like they're only seeing a tiny piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Right. And the source uses this example of a, macho man who's super into K-dramas.
Right, really?
Yeah. And it's that unexpectedness that makes it interesting. It's breaking down those stereotypes.
It shows he's got a broader range of interests than you might initially think.
Yes. And that ties directly into the next point, being unpredictable.
Ooh, I like that.
The video argues that interesting people often surprise you. You're never quite sure what they're going to say or do next.
Whereas predictable people, well, they can be kind of boring.
That's what the source says, yeah. A little blunt, but I think there's some truth to it.
I agree. And if we think about why unpredictability can be so interesting, it could be a sign of, like, a really rich inner world.
That's a good point. Someone who's not afraid to, like, step outside the box.
Totally. And to fuel that unpredictability, the video suggests becoming more well-rounded, learning a little bit about a lot of different things.
Which can be tough, but it's so worth it.
I think so, too. The idea is to be able to connect with people on a wider range of topics, have something to contribute to various conversations.
It's like having more tools in your conversational toolbox.
Exactly. Now, I know all this talk of developing interests and trying new things might make it seem like we're saying you have to become someone totally different.
Right.
But the next point is actually all about the opposite, embracing who you already are.
This is so important. The video really emphasizes those little quirks, your idiosyncrasies.
Yes.
Those are what make you you.
And surprisingly, what can make you more appealing in real life.
So true. Think about it. We see all these like perfected images online.
Yeah, and it could be easy to get caught up in that.
It can. But in person, it's the charming imperfections that make someone unique and relatable.
That unique laugh, that offbeat sense of humor, those are the things that make you memorable.
Absolutely. The video actually cautions against inauthenticity, trying too hard to follow trends or pretending to be someone you're not.
Because people can sense that, right?
They can. And it creates a barrier. It makes it harder to connect on a deeper level.
And what's so fascinating is that true attractiveness comes from accepting and celebrating those individual quirks.
I love that. Okay, speaking of understanding yourself, this next point might surprise some folks.
Okay, lay it on me.
Therapy.
Interesting.
Now, the source isn't framing it as like only for when you're struggling. It's presented as a powerful tool for self-awareness.
I can see that.
Because when you understand yourself better, when you recognize your own patterns and your strengths and weaknesses, you can grow.
It's like getting the owner's manual to your own brain.
Exactly. The video even mentions BetterHelp as a possible resource, although our focus here is more on the concept itself.
Sure.
But the main takeaway is that understanding yourself better makes you a more well-rounded and interesting individual.
Okay, so we've talked about passion, broadening our horizons, embracing who we are, and even therapy. What's next?
Well, the source points out something else that's often seen in people we think of as cooler resilience and open-mindedness.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
They suggest that not getting easily offended is a sign of someone who's more enjoyable to be around.
I can definitely see that. It makes for a more relaxed and positive vibe, right?
It does. The video makes this really interesting observation that sometimes when someone gets offended, it might actually say more about their insecurities.
That's a great point. Like, it's not necessarily about what was said, but how they're interpreting it.
Exactly. And someone who isn't easily ruffled tends to be more open to different perspectives.
Which makes them way more approachable and easier to connect with.
For sure. Okay, so far we've talked a lot about, being interesting. But it's not just about your inner world, it's about how you interact with others, too.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the next point highlights something that's often overlooked listening.
Such a simple thing, but so powerful.
It is. The source stresses how important it is to actually listen when others are talking, not just waiting for your turn to jump in.
Yeah, genuine listening shows you care.
Exactly. And going back to that idea of being a data collector, it's an amazing way to learn and grow.
And to understand different perspectives.
Yes. And when you really listen, insightful questions naturally follow.
Because you're actually engaged with what the other person is saying.
Right. And the video shares this beautiful idea that everyone has a story to tell, something you can learn from.
I love that. It makes every person you meet potentially interesting.
It does. Which leads perfectly to the next point. The value of expanding your social circles.
The more the merrier, right?
It's not just about quantity, though.
Right.
It's about diversity. Meeting a wide range of people helps you develop social intelligence.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is. The video explains that interacting with a variety of people makes you better at reading social situations.
Makes sense. The more you practice, the better you get.
Exactly. Like knowing when to include someone new in a conversation.
Or sensing when someone's uncomfortable.
Yes. Those are subtle but really important skills.
They can make or break a social interaction.
Totally. Now, after all this emphasis on connecting with others, the next point might seem a bit counterintuitive.
Let me guess. Solitude.
You got it.
Interesting. What do you think that is?
Well, this source argues that folks who are comfortable spending time alone often have a richer inner life.
They've had that time for self-reflection.
Right. And that's crucial for self-awareness, which we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They also suggest that needing constant external validation might be a sign of, not being entirely comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, I can see that. Like always needing someone else to tell you you're okay.
Exactly. And that quiet time allows you to process your thoughts and develop your own unique perspectives.
And those unique perspectives then make you more interesting to others.
It's like recharging your batteries.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So how does this all tie into the next point? Cultivating your personal style.
Okay, so the video connects having your own distinct style, like in how you dress, to being more attractive and harder to replicate. It introduces this idea of vibe as something authentic and personal.
It's that je ne sais quoi, right?
Yes.
That energy you put out there.
And when your personal style reflects who you are, it shows confidence, which is totally magnetic.
And speaking of not just blending in, the next point is really direct. Don't be an NPC.
Oh, yeah. And for anyone who's not a gamer, NPC stands for non-player character.
Those background figures who just follow a script.
Yes. They're predictable and don't really have their own thoughts.
It's a great metaphor for avoiding conformity.
It is. The source encourages us to break away from predictable routines.
To do things that others might not expect.
Exactly. Inject some originality into your life, which actually leads us to our next point, developing discriminating taste.
Okay, this should be good.
The video uses music as an example. It talks about how, only listening to mainstream hits can be kind of
basic.
Yeah. And they encourage us to explore a wider range of genres.
It's not about being a snob or anything, right?
No, not at all. It's about actively seeking out quality and variety.
Expanding your palette, so to speak.
Yes. Developing your taste in music, art, literature, food. It shows you're thinking for yourself.
That you're not just passively consuming whatever's put in front of you.
Exactly. Okay, we've covered a lot here.
We have. From passion to solitude to personal style.
It's all connected. And this next point is almost like a summary of everything.
Okay, I'm ready for the grand finale.
It's the cumulative effect of experience.
Ah, yes. The more you live, the more interesting you become.
Right. The video reminds us that all those diverse experiences, conversations, times you stepped outside your comfort zone, they all add up.
It's like collecting data points for your own personal database of interestingness.
I love that. And it brings us full circle because this final point takes us right back to where we started.
Authenticity.
Yes. The video really drives this home. Trying to be someone you're not will always ring false.
It's not sustainable, and it's not attractive.
True confidence, the kind that draws people in, comes from accepting and embracing who you truly are.
Couldn't agree more.
So for you, the listener, what are the key takeaways from this deep dive into becoming more cool and interesting?
Well, I think it comes down to a few core things.
Okay, like what?
First, cultivate that genuine curiosity.
Yes.
About the world, about other people.
Yes. Second.
Embrace your passions. Let them shine through. And don't be afraid to go deep.
Love it. What else?
Seek out new experiences, even if they feel a little uncomfortable at first. Broaden those horizons. And remember, the most important thing is to be yourself.
Authenticity wins every time.
Every single time.
So here's a thought to take with you this week. What's one small, manageable step you can take today to maybe explore a new interest? Or strike up a conversation with someone you don't know.
Or even just do something that nudges you a little outside your comfort zone.
Because that one small step could be the beginning of your next big, interesting adventure.
Absolutely.